So today you're going to get a crash course in Maya, and you're not going to be able to do, pretty much you'll be able to do what I want you to do at this point. And that's about it, which is what I need for you to do. So this is my basic navigation. These are your tools, different windows. This is your 3D view. Alt left, rotate. Alt middle mouse button, translate, up, down, track. Scroll bar, zoom in. Alt right, dolly in, dolly out. Dolly is a different than a zoom. Now, what you're going to do is go to settings. You're going to change this to, so over here, preferences, settings. You're going to set this to meters, and that changes your grid so that everything is now in meters instead of centimeters. And we are going to go to create polygon cube. Well, actually before that, we're going to go into modify, display grid. We're going to change our grid. We're going to grid our lines every 32, subdivide by 32. And our length and our width, we're going to make, let's go ahead and make it 1024. There we go. And we're going to create a political, not a NURBS, not a volume, polygon primitive, cube. Okay. Now, so So 1 meter is 3.28 feet, roughly. So keep that in mind. And we're using actual real world scale. So if I have 12 feet, that's 3.65676 meters. And we're going to make this wall 12 feet high. And that is 3.6576. So here, what I'm going to do, I click on the cube. This gives me my options. This is my channels. But I want input. And what I want to do is for my height, we're going to put in 3.7656. I might just round that out. 3.6. And this will be a 12-foot wall. And I'm also going to make the wall 12 feet in length. And actually, unless we want to go higher, we'll leave that at 1. We'll do the same thing here for the width. There we go. Now, the thickness, we don't want it a meter thick. That's a little bit thicker than your average wall. And we're going to make it probably 0.15 thick. Now, I'm going to move this up. This is my pivot point. I'm going to hit Control I. Shift Insert on the number key. I'm going to hold down the V key. And I'm going to use the middle mouse button while clicking on my pivot point and snap it to a bottom edge of my wall. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to name this wall. And the other thing I want to do is snap this so that this is not floating, like it's 0 along the y-axis. So easiest thing for me to do is I'm going to hit this button right here is snap to my grid. I'm going to snap it. I'm going to modify, freeze my transformations so that it recognizes this as being its default position in the world space. Then I'm going to go to edit, delete by type, history. And that gives me a default wall here. And I might do this. We'll leave it right here for right now. Now, what I'm going to do is this. We have UVs. This needs to represent what this is. UVs are how you take 2D material, 2D textures, and apply them to a three-dimensional surface. This area right here is where your UV map resides and where you export it from. You cannot use these three areas here. So, what I'm going to do is to start off with, I'm going to do a very simple automatic map because it's a wall. It's a very simple object. So I'm going to complex wall. Now here, and to better explain, I'm going to right click, assign new material. I'm going to pick a Lambert. I'm going to click on this button right here, which is create render node, and I'm going to assign a checker. If I hit my 6 key, that shows my textures. This is my UV editor. And what I'm going to do is turn the picture off, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to scale it so you can see the front and the front and the back of the wall scales correctly, but the sides do not. And that's because their shape is relative to this right here, where the shape of all these faces on the side are different. This is a basic geometric shape, so this consists of faces, edges, and vertices. However, you also have things like normals that are part of this as well too, but you don't have to worry about those right now, and that's not part of basic whatever. So what I'm going to do, once again, let's go and do a basic automatic map. What I'm holding down to get this menu is the space bar. I'm not doing this. That opens up your other windows, which is fine. You're going to have to get used to using all three of these views eventually. But for today, I'm just using this one. And what I'm going to do is hold down the space bar, UV, automatic map. Next, I need to delete my history, edit, delete by type history, because everything I create creates history for the most part, and history is information. Information results in my files being larger than what I need to, and also processes have to work through that history to get whatever done. And if we don't need it, we get rid of it. And now, hold down spacebar again, Windows, and we have our UV editor. And then we can see these are in the UV editor. Now, if I click here, this will show me what UVs are positive and what UVs are negative. If it's blue, it's positive. If it's red, it's flipped it on the negative side. This is fine for right now. This, and what I'm going to essentially do in the next part is show you how to create a tolerable texture. But we got two other things we need to do. So first thing is we need to create a project directory. So File, project window, and where it says new, we'll create a new one. I'm just gonna name it K Hawkins EVN assets. That's the name of my directory. Then I'm gonna tell my directory where I want it to go. In this case, I already have a folder on my C drive with my name on it. And now I need to save the scene. So save scene, K Hawkins, EVN assets. Fault wall and V001. And there we go.